the one I did Gray Rock, which is right by Fort Collins. It was really beautiful. But I did get lost for a little bit of a time without water, which is really great.
So tell us more details, right? Because I wanted to sort of dive into that. Um,
that specific one.
yeah, that specific one.
um, so that one, there was water right at the very beginning. I have like my little water filter thing. So I
Yep.
filtered water. I filled up the biggest thing of water I could and like walked in, and there wasn't any other water for the rest of the time. I was thinking
Mhm.
50 something, there was nothing. Um, and I started getting in and I was kind of looking around like, where do I want to camp? And the sun was going down. I just kind of found this really pretty spot in the valley, and like, you gotta like hang up a bear bag when you're out there.
Hmm.
You just like sleep with your bacon, you want to put that somewhere. um, so I hung my bear bag
So
behind.
really quick, for people who have never been backpacking,
I did not bring
so basically, when you bring your food into, the backcountry or like the nature, the wilderness, you can't just have it on you overnight, right? Like you have to keep it at least X yards away from where you're sleeping, and you have to like tie it high up in a tree.
Yeah.
And there's a process to it. It's not very hard, but the idea is you're trying to separate where you're sleeping from where your food is.
So they
Um,
don't find you
yes,
unless.
yes. Please continue.
Thank you for that. Um, yeah, so I did that, and then like the next day was like, I just want to climb to the top of this mountain and then like come down. I like woke up early and made breakfast and um ditched my backpack. I just like hid it somewhere. And I had like a little camelback, or
Mm,
no, it wasn't a camelback. It was like my dry bag that I just put. I had like an apple and some other stuff, but I didn't
yeah.
have sunscreen, which is
Mm,
that's a thing. Like I'm so ginger. It's just
yeah.
that's not it's not smart for me. Um, so I didn't have sunscreen. I didn't have enough water. I ran out of water. Um, and I ended up going to the top of this mountain rock. It was like a giant rock at the top. And on the way down, lost the trail for a second. And I thought I could loop back around and find it. And then I didn't. And I ended up on the other side of that top of the mountain. And I had to circle around the bottom and go all the way around. But there was like
Wow.
no shade. Like the sun was like directly on top of me. So I couldn't, like, I found shade, like a good amount of shade one time. It was like this rock that was kind of like this, like kind of leaned over. And I like hid underneath of it for a second and I ate this apple. And I was like, okay, like I got to find the trail. And I knew how to get back to the trail. It was just like, how long is it going to take me to get there? And do I have enough stuff with me to be like, okay, for that amount of time? Um,
Mm,
and I also there's like poison oak everywhere. So I was like hopping on rocks and trying to not be walking through a bunch of stuff that I was going to really regret later. So it was an adventure. I was honestly like kind of terrified for a second, mainly because of the sunscreen thing. That's just an anxiety that I have for myself because I have
yeah.
really pale skin.